Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So I know that I just recently did a testing video where I tested, a number of new and hyped up fragrances, and I'm sorry to do another one so close, but I have some really exciting new releases and I just couldn't sit on them. I really wanted to test them with you and to share my thoughts and opinions with you about them because maybe you're curious and you're wondering if they're worth purchasing. And there are some really exciting releases here. Really, we have everything. We have Valaya from Parfums de Marly. We have Guidance from Amouage. There is Ruby Red from the House of Oud. There is Mashumaro from Unique Luxury, and a few more. So a lot to talk about in this video, so let's not waste any more time and just jump in. Okay, what should we start with? Let's start with Valaya because I was really excited to test this one. So I do have samples of all of these decants in some cases. I've applied them to blotters already, so let's talk about them. So Valaya from Parfums de Marly. Gorgeous bottle, absolutely gorgeous. Really exciting release. So what is this fragrance about? So I'm going to start by quickly reading you the notes and then giving you my thoughts about it. So the notes in here are aldehydes, mandarin orange, white peach, bergamot, orange blossom, lily of the valley, petalia, vetiver, nymphet, mahonia, musk, ambroxan, akigala wood, and vanilla. What does it smell like? And I will be making comparisons here because I'm sure you've heard these comparisons from others already, and they really make sense. Now, when this fragrance opens up, it is surprisingly masculine in my opinion. It is very like citrusy, bright, fresh, without having any sweetness. Like I was really surprised. I expected it to be so much more feminine, but it is not. In the opening, when it starts drying down, that is when all of those floral notes are coming in, orange blossom and petalia, which I know is not a real note, but it's a floral note. So musk is coming in. There is just a little bit of sweetness in here, but just a little bit. Like I know there is vanilla, but it feels more like floral sweetness. The kind of fruitiness and freshness stays a little bit there. I can't say that I'm like distinguishing specifically like peach or mandarin. Not really. It's just you feel a little bit of fruitiness, but mostly it is musky floral. Now, this scent in the dry down is very, very similar to Fleur Narcotique. It is. It is created by the same perfumer and it has a lot of similar notes and it smells very similarly. I have Fleur, I love it, and this one, in the dry down, which is, the longest part of this fragrance, is very similar to Fleur. The differences, I would say, is that it is not quite as sweet as Fleur. It is maybe a little bit more musky, and it has a bit more freshness. But these are really minor differences overall, and I did a little experiment because Fleur Narcotique is one of my husband's favorite fragrances in my collection. I put this one on a blotter and I let him smell like I do with many new fragrances that I get, or sometimes old ones. I'm just interested in his opinion. And I said, okay, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you not? I didn't even say, does it smell like anything else? I just said, do you like it or not? And he smelled it. He goes, why are you asking me? I love this one. This is Fleur Narcotique. And I said, no, it is not. It is actually something else. But to him, it smelled, the same. And to me, it does as well. It's not identical, but it's a very close cousin of Fleur Narcotique. This one is just a little bit muskier, a little bit less sweet, and a lot more masculine than Fleur Narcotique, because Fleur is very, very feminine in my opinion. Now, is this a bad scent? Absolutely not. This is a beautiful scent. I really enjoy scent profile of Fleur Narcotique, and just the same, I enjoy scent profile of this one as well. Despite that kind of masculine vibe in the opening, I still really enjoy it. Now, do I need it? Do I want it? Well, I definitely don't need it because it smells too similar to Fleur. Do I want it? There's a little part of me that wants it, I'll be honest, but I'm definitely not going to purchase it for full price. When it hits discounters, maybe I reserve the right to maybe purchase it, although I think it's going to be unlikely just because it is too similar. So do I recommend it? Well, it depends. If you have Fleur Narcotique in your collection, I don't think you need this one. They're way too similar, very similar. If you don't have it, then you can choose one or the other. Like I said, there are some differences, but they're not major differences. If you asked me which one I would recommend, I would still recommend Fleur because I think it is a little bit better. Honestly, I feel like it's just a little more feminine. It's a little bit sexier. It's a little bit sweeter. It doesn't have any of that masculine vibe in the opening. So I would still recommend Fleur, but this one is a nice fragrance. Nice, but just too similar. It is not unique at all. Okay, let's go to the second one, and that's also very talked about new release, and that is Guidance from Amouage. Now, I am not brave enough to blind buy Amouage ever because their fragrances are always, complicated, different, sometimes strange. So I always need to sample them first. And by the way, are you proud of me in general that I didn't blind buy any of these? I'm testing them first. See, I told you, I'm doing a lot more testing these days instead of blind buying. So anyways, let's look at the notes. The notes are pear, hazelnut, olibanum, osmanthus, rose, saffron, jasmine, sandalwood, vanilla, akigala wood, ambergris, and labdanum. Kind of look interesting, there are maybe a couple of questionable notes. I mean, questionable for me, as far as what I like. But overall, really interesting note combination. I love, love, love pear. One of my favorite kind of fruity notes. So yeah, I was very curious about this one. Now, one thing I should say about this fragrance, it's a beast. This one is so strong, just like pretty much all of the Amouage fragrances. I mean, I tried this one on my skin, like just a little bit on my hand, and it was there projecting pretty much the whole day. It was so, so strong. So performance without a doubt on this one is outstanding. And by the way, I didn't mention performance in Valaya because I can't really speak about that, I didn't test it properly for performance. I tested it more for like scent profile, so I can't really comment. Although I have a feeling that the performance is kind of on par with Fleur Narcotique. That's kind of the feeling that I got from it, but don't take my word for it. Like I said, I didn't test it out properly for performance. But Guidance, it's beastly. It's beastly. Now, what does it smell like? Well, so interesting. The opening is a little bit strange because I do get that pear for sure, but I also get hazelnut. And for me, the combination of pear and hazelnut is just a little bit strange. Like, I don't know. There is something, I feel like they just don't go together. I don't know. I just feel like they don't go together. And so it bothers me a little bit in the opening. Then when it dries down, yes, a lot of florals come in. Do I get any florals individually? No, I really don't. Maybe a little bit of osmanthus is kind of peeking through from all of them, but really it's just florals. Pear is always there. I'm definitely getting a significant dose of this Akigala wood. Yes, it's there. It's pretty strong. A little bit of vanilla. I feel like getting a lot of ambergris in this one. And so overall, it's this fruity, floral, slightly woody type of scent. That's how I would describe it. This one is interesting because on one hand, I like it. Sort of all of the components are sort of nice and I like all of them. And yet when they're all put together, there is something in it that bothers me. And I don't know what it is. Hazelnut? Maybe. Although I am not convinced. I don't know. But there is something in this fragrance that really bothers me, and I can't wear it for a long time because it really starts giving me a headache and it starts kind of annoying me. And so it's not for me. And I would say this is not a safe blind buy. You really should test this fragrance first. Some people will love it, some people will not. So it's a nice fragrance, but it has something in it that really, really annoys me. And I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's nice, but for me, it's not great. And I would not recommend blind buying it. Yeah, let's leave it at that. So test it first. Test this one first. Next one that I have is the one that I almost blind bought multiple times, but I controlled myself and I thought, no, I'm going to get a sample first and I'm going to see what I think about it. It is Ruby Red from the House of Oud. Now, this fragrance is really all about ginger. There are ginger notes everywhere, top, mid, base, everywhere. And in general, I really like the note of ginger, but I was still a little bit scared to blind buy it. And so I got a sample. Let's see what I think about it. So starting with the notes, we have ginger, tangerine, ylang-ylang, tuberose, ginger flower, candied ginger, vanilla, woody notes, and musk. So yeah, ginger everywhere. And that is how it smells. It's really all about ginger, you know? In the opening, I get sort of more of that fresh ginger, like freshly grated sort of ginger. And in a dry down, I do get more of a candied ginger, like it changes. And really, it's all about this note. Like, what else is in here? Yes, there is a little bit of like orange or tangerine or whatever citrus that's in here in the opening. Florals, you know, florals, I was scared of florals probably more than anything else. Like there is ylang-ylang and tuberose. And to be honest, I don't get tuberose at all. I think there is a little bit of ylang-ylang coming through, like when the fragrance dries down, like ylang-ylang sort of has that creaminess to me. Like it's always a flower that I feel like it's very creamy. And I'm kind of getting a little bit of that here as well. Tuberose, no, I'm not getting it. Candied ginger, yes, it quickly becomes candied with a little bit of woods and a little bit of musk. That's how this fragrance smells. It's really interesting. It's definitely different. I have not smelled anything similar to this. So this one is definitely unique. In my opinion, it is very unique. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I tried this for the first time, I loved it. I thought it was so good. Like it was so unique. It was so interesting. The ginger in it, like in the opening, ginger really reminds me of ginger in Ani. Like Ani has very gingery, fresh opening, and it's kind of similar in here as well. So I loved it. And I loved the dry down as well. And when I worried for the second time because I've worn this, I think 3 times now, because I think initially this is the fragrance that intrigued me the most. Like I said, I wanted to blind buy it even before I had the sample. And when I wore it for the second time and third time, I didn't like it quite as much. The opening I still love. Actually, for me, the opening is the best part because I'm getting this fresh blast of ginger. It's the dry down that bothered me a little bit. Like when it becomes candied, it sort of becomes just a little bit stale, I think. And that's what I kind of didn't pick this up the first time, but then the next few times that I wore it, it kind of smelled like that to me. So I'm undecided about this one. I definitely will be testing it further because part of me, again, really likes it. And then part of me is kind of worried about the dry down, why it feels a little bit stale to me. So yeah, this one, again, not a safe blind buy at all. Do not blind buy it. You have to sample it first. This will not appeal to everyone. It's quite unique in my opinion. So yeah, I am not ready to blind buy it, but I'm definitely going to continue testing it. Okay, next one. I was so excited about this one. When I first heard that this was coming out, I was like, I've got to try this. I really have to. It is Mashumaro from Unique Luxury in this gorgeous red bottle. Mashumaro, if I'm not mistaken, is marshmallow in Japanese. And I mean, we all know I love sweet scents. So this one is no brainer. I had to try it. Now, this fragrance is super, super expensive. I wasn't going to blind buy it. So I got a decant of this one. Here's my decant, and I have been testing it for the last few days. Now, let's start with the notes. We have marshmallow, incense, cashmere wood, praline, musk, caramel, rose, vanilla, milk, lily of the valley. So as always, I'm getting my notes from Fragrantica. You know, Fragrantica is not always 100% correct, so I don't know if these notes are exactly right, but that's what it says. And I mean, look at all these sweet notes. Marshmallow, praline, caramel, vanilla. Oh my God. And so I sprayed this fragrance. And I'm like, where are the sweet notes? Like, where are they? They got lost. Somewhere they got lost. They were not delivered in this fragrance. I mean, toffee, caramel, vanilla, forget about it. They're not here at all. Marshmallow, perhaps, but it's really, really like charred, kind of like burned type of marshmallow. Marshmallow that lost all its fluffiness, all its sweetness. It just became this cloud of smoke. That's how it feels to me. There is very little sweetness in this fragrance, in my opinion. It is smoky, extremely, extremely smoky. And what I'm getting in here, and again, that's why I sort of mentioned the notes that I'm getting them from Fragrantica. I am getting an extremely strong note of patchouli. Like, to me, this is so patchouli heavy. It reminds me, the base of this fragrance reminds me so much of the base in Crush on Me. So similar. The thing with Crush on Me is that that really strong earthy patchouli base is mixed with incredibly sweet, heavy caramel, which makes that fragrance amazing. But here, I'm not getting the sweetness. So I am left with a lot of smoke and a lot of this earthy patchouli, like really, really strong, with addition of a bit of like burnt marshmallow. So yeah, this is completely not what I was expecting. This one shocked me. I don't know what to say about it. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I will not say that I hate it. I don't. I'm a little bit fascinated by this fragrance, actually. I am. I'm gonna continue testing it. But I have a feeling that this will not appeal to many people. Honestly, I don't think this is a mass appealing fragrance. I think this is a very challenging fragrance. I don't think this is gourmand at all, even though the notes look so gourmand. I don't think this is gourmand at all. This is woody, smoky, earthy. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. And it is so beastly. Oh my God. When I got it, I sprayed a blotter once and it was on my desk for 3-4 days and it was projecting like crazy. It's so strong. Like it's beastly the same way that Crush on Me is beastly. Yeah, this one the same. It is so strong. But yeah, I don't know. It will not appeal to many people. I think so, really. And it's not very gourmand at all. I am just a little bit fascinated by this scent, to be honest. I kind of want to test it. I want to test it further. It is a little bit better on the skin than it is on the blotter. A little bit, not much. But still, that, smoky, earthy kind of vibe is still there. Like there's maybe a touch more sweetness on the skin, but not significant increase in sweetness at all. So yeah, this one is probably the most shocking one that I've tried, in this video. Yeah, really strange, but especially from far away, the base smells very similar to Crush on Me. To me, very similar kind of patchouli heavy base. So yeah, there you go. These are my thoughts on Mashumaro. Yeah, really strange one. And I think I'm only going to talk about one more. I had a few more prepared, but it seems like this video is getting a little bit too long, which I don't want to make it too long. So I'm just going to talk about one more fragrance here. And the fragrance I'm going to finish with is the newest release from Imaginary Authors, and that is In Love with Everything. Now, again, another fragrance that I was super curious about. Not too many people talk about it, so I got a sample to try for myself. Let's start with the notes. We have punch, palm sugar, raspberry, citruses, sandalwood. And it is exactly what the notes say. Exactly. This smells like fruit punch. Really sweet fruit punch. It is very sweet. I mean, really sweet. It definitely has raspberry peeking through. I like it's fruit punch, but it's raspberry is the dominant fruit in it. And there are some citruses because I do get that citrusy freshness in it, but the sweetness of the fruit punch kind of dominates citruses and it comes to the forefront. It is super sweet fruit punch. Nothing else to say. Does it smell nice? Yes. Do I want to wear it? No. I think it's a little bit too straightforward, too maybe a little too young smelling for me. Let's put it this way. Like a little too fruit punchy. I want some other nuances in this fragrance. Like I love sweet fruity scents. I love them. But this one is a little bit too literal, like real fruit punch, pleasant, but not something that I want to wear. So that's just my opinion. So let's summarize, because I know, I talked a lot about these different scents. Valaya, nice fragrance, really nice, very similar to Fleur Narcotique. Slightly more masculine. I would say that's the biggest difference to me. Guidance from Amouage, kind of fruity, floral with an edge. That's how I would describe it. For me, it's sort of all the elements separately are nice, but when you put them together, there's something a little bit strange and a little bit annoying for me. Sample it first. Ruby Red from the House of Oud. Well, this is all about ginger, fresh ginger in the opening and candied ginger in a dry down. Again, not a safe blind buy. definitely sample it first. Mashumaro from Unique Luxury, that is the most unique one we've tried today, for sure. Nothing like what you would imagine from the notes, completely different in my opinion. Definitely the most unsafe blind buy out of this bunch. Very woody, very smoky, very earthy. Fascinating to me, but I don't think many people would enjoy this one. So there you go. This kind of a quick wrap up of what we tested today. Please definitely share with me your opinions on these fragrances. Have you tried them? Are you planning to try them? What do you think about them? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to comment. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.